Hey everybody, Team Player Gaming here, and welcome back to another Mwangi Expanse video. This time I'm going to be covering the Shisk Ancestry. Let's get right into it. Playing a Shisk gets you 8 Ancestry hit points and a move speed of 25 feet. They are considered medium creatures. For ability boosts, they get Intelligence and a free boost with no ability flaw. Oddly enough, Shisks do not automatically get Common as a language. They instead start with Mwangi and Shisk. However, don't fret about it. Shisk automatically get at least one bonus language due to their intelligence. So you can pick Common as one of those languages. Shisk also have dark vision. So yay for being able to see in the dark. Now we can move on to Shisk heritages. First up is the Lore Keeper Shisk. You become trained in any one lore skill, plus any intelligence or wisdom based skill of your choice. And at 5th level, you get to be an expert in those skills. Quill Coat Shisks gain the Barbed Quills reaction. Once per day, when you are hit by an unarmed strike or a non-reach melee attack, then you can force the opponent to make a basic reflex save against your class DC or your spell DC, whichever is higher. You deal 1d8 piercing damage to the triggering creature. Of course, this is a basic save, so if they critically succeed, they take nothing. If they succeed, they take half. And if they fail, they take full damage. On a critical failure, not only do they take double damage, but they also take 1d4 persistent bleed damage. At 3rd level, and every 2 levels afterwards, the piercing damage increases by 1d8, and the persistent bleed damage increases by 1. Spellkeeper Shisks gain 1 occult or primal cantrip that they can cast at will. This heightens just like any other cantrip. Stone Step Shisks can ignore non-magical difficult terrain caused by stone and earth. This is very similar to the Rockrunner Dwarf feat, except that it's a heritage. Strong Gut Shisks can go without food for 1 week before they begin to starve. Also, the onset time and length of stages for any poison or disease affecting you increase by 50%. However, this does not work if the onset time or stage is 1 round or less. Now we can move on to Shisk feats. For 1st level ancestry feats, we will start with Eidetic Ear. You gain the Assurance Performance feat. With a DC 8 flat check, you can recall a sound or snippet of conversation you heard in the last week. Unfortunately, this feat does not affect your ability to recall knowledge because you're memorizing by rote rather than content. The lore feat for Shisks gives you training proficiency in 3 different lore skills plus Shisk lore. With the Spelunker feat, if you roll a success on survival to sense direction or on athletics to climb, you get a critical success instead. Also, if you take this feat, you are not flat-footed while you climb. Spine Stabber just gives you a Quills unarmed attack that deals 1d6 piercing damage. They are considered knives and have the finesse and unarmed traits. Now we come to 5th level feats and the Bristle feat. With the Bristle feat, you splay out your spines, giving you a +1 circumstance bonus to AC for 1 round. Also, if you have the Barbed Quills reaction or the Quills unarmed attack, each of those gains a +1 circumstance bonus to damage until the start of your next turn. Inured to the Heat is very similar to the Forged Dwarf heritage. You gain resistance 4 to fire. You also treat environmental heat effects as 1 step less severe. So incredible heat becomes extreme, extreme becomes severe, and so on and so forth. Renewing Quills requires the Quill Coat Shisk heritage. With this feat, you can use the Barbed Quills reaction once every 10 minutes instead of once per day. For 9th level feats, we will start with Dig Up Secrets. You can cast Hypercognition as an innate occult spell once per day. So essentially, you can recall knowledge 6 times for 1 action once per day, and it's verbal. So no manipulate action, which means generally you're not going to get hit for casting this spell. Piercing Quills requires the Spine Stabber feat to take. When you critically hit with your Quills unarmed attack, you also deal 1d4 persistent bleed damage. In order to take the Quill Spray Ancestry feat, you must have the Quill Coat Shisk heritage or a QUILLS unarmed attack. For 2 actions, you spray your QUILLS in a 30-foot cone, dealing 5d8 points of piercing damage. Each creature in the area must make a basic reflex saving throw against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher. The feat just says basic save. I assume it's reflex, that would make the most sense. If they critically fail their save, they also take 5 persistent bleed damage. At 11th level and every even level thereafter, the piercing damage increases by 1d8 and the persistent bleed increases by 1. Next up, we have the 13th level feat, Delver. This feat gives you a burrow speed of 10 feet. However, you can only use that burrow speed in loose soil or dirt. None Shall Know is the next 13th level ancestry feat for Shisks. You can cast the non-detection spell as an innate occult spell once per day, but you can only target yourself. Unlike most other innate spells, this spell is heightened to half your level rounded up. Now we come to Secret Eyes. This feat gives you Prying Eye as a once per day occult innate spell. The last feat for this video, and the only 17th level feat for Shisks, is Fountain of Secrets. For a free action once per round, you can recall knowledge. If you succeed, you gain knowledge as if you had normally critically succeeded. If you critically succeed at the GM's discretion, he may give you even more information than you would normally get on a critical success. Now let's talk about the teamwork potential of the Shisk. I give the Shisk a 7 out of 10 on teamwork. For Shisk heritages, they are all good for teamwork in certain situations, except for the Strong Gut Shisk heritage. Unfortunately, that one only seems to affect you as the character. It really doesn't do anything to help the team. For example, Quillcoat Shisks make excellent champions, especially once they take renewing quills. However, I do wish that they had a feat that made it so that you could use barbed quills once per minute instead of once every 10 minutes. They probably thought that barbed quills was too powerful for that, but I think they could have made it once per minute as like a 13th level feat and been fine. I mean, it's still only once per encounter, so once per round is definitely too much though. For feats, some of them are just really good for teamwork when combined with certain classes, but others are just not as good. For example, Fountain of Secrets is pretty much a must-take for any Shisk intelligence-based class, especially Mastermind Rogues. None Shall Know and Secret Eyes are excellent for any class that wants to sneak around. But a feat like Spine Stabber just isn't as good. I mean, yes, if you take another feat, your QUILLS unarmed attack can get persistent bleed damage on a crit, which is good, but it still doesn't make up for the fact that other Shisk feats are better. Overall, I would say the best classes to play as a Shisk would be any intelligence-based class, a rogue, a ranger, or a champion with the Quillcoat Shisk heritage. But remember, a Shisk is a rare ancestry, so make sure you talk to your GM before playing one. And that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more Pathfinder 2nd Edition teamwork content. You can also check out my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Discord page. Links are in the description. And until next time, remember, teamwork is vital.